Hello lovelies, today I am getting ready for Thanksgiving, as I'm sure you are too. We are decking the halls a little bit for Thanksgiving, a little bit for Christmas. Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday. It's right up there with Valentine's Day, which I do love. It's not a Hallmark holiday to me. I love Valentine's Day. The pink and red decorations, they get me every time, but don't send me red roses because I hate red roses. Okay, so I am going to be showing you my favorite Thanksgiving centerpiece. This is like my go-to every year centerpiece. It's edible, it's beautiful. You can bring it to someone's house and really bless them. Thanksgiving is incredible, isn't it? Because we are all so blessed. You and I are so blessed, and we get this one day a year to pause with our family and the people that we love and give thanks. I love it. When we're done here, I'm gonna go in the living room and we're gonna mock up a Thanksgiving tablescape for you, just using odds and ends from around the house that have those Thanksgiving colors, that Thanksgiving palette. Okay, so for this centerpiece, what you're gonna need is a wicker basket. And of course, I got mine from the thrift shop. I'm thinking it's about 18 inches wide. Don't let me forget, you're gonna wanna hop over to Forgotten Way Farms and check out my girlfriend, Abby Jo, because she's also doing a centerpiece and she's also gonna be doing some Thanksgiving tablescaping for you. So there's plenty of inspiration. Okay, so I have this wicker basket that I got at the thrift shop, and I have some florist foam. Now, you can get florist foam at the thrift shop too. Like, seriously, I have purchased some nasty silk flowers in an effort to get cheap florist foam because it's not cheap. But actually, you can get it on Amazon, so I'll be sure to post a link for anything that you need down below in the description. But I always use these rectangles for this particular project. You're also going to need some skewers, okay? I've got little ones, I've got larger ones. You're gonna need a variety of vegetables. They can totally be your choice. This is what I was able to get at the Pig. Now you know that I practically live in Antarctica, so the vegetables are a little bit limited at this time of year, as is the sunshine. Nice and cozy here today. So I like to start with some gourds. I grabbed these from a small farmer on Etsy because I did not grow my own this year. I have artichoke, I have asparagus, broccoli, red potatoes, radish, some colorful carrots. You can do whatever you want. Now for the greenery fill-in, you can use parsley, you can use kale. I went ahead and grabbed a rosemary from the greenhouse. So let's get started. I'm going to start by taking 4 of the rectangles and sort of building a base in my basket. Now again, you could use something like a copper colander. Those are all over the thrift shop all the time. You could use a champagne bucket, any container of your choice. I really like grabbing the baskets because if you're going to someone's house for Thanksgiving, this is a really affordable way to leave her with something lovely. Baskets are really, really cheap at the thrift, and it's a great, great hostess gift. This arrangement is a great hostess gift. So I've got them stacked 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 this way, 2 this way. Pull out your old Lego brick building skills. And then I'm going to take the skewers, I hate that word, and I'm going to kind of stabilize these bricks here. Once you have your skewers in place, you can start in on your gourds. I love to do those as my first level. Now shame on me. You're gonna have to go ask hubby for his drill because you're gonna need a drill with a, Joel, what size bit is this?
Couldn't tell you.
Couldn't tell you. Okay, so you're gonna wanna match the drill bit to the size of the skewer, okay? But you're gonna wanna have a drill, and I just have found that is really, really, it really facilitates installing the gourds, okay? So you wanna take the drill bit, screw into the gourd a little bit, but I suggest setting it down on something because what's going to happen is it's going to be really tough at first, and then the drill's going to move forward into the softness, the flesh of the little pumpkin. So definitely set it down and do your drill that way. What you're doing is you're making a little hole with the drill bit so that you can then insert your skewer, et voila, okay? But it's really, trust me, it's going to be much easier if you have a portable, what are they called?
What?
What's it called?
A cordless drill.
Cordless drill. Hello, and there'll be a description for one of those as well. Okay, so now you're going to want to insert these kind of all the way around the base of your arrangements. This is where it starts to get fun. So you can mix them up, and with a little bit of forethought, you can grow these yourself. Oh, I didn't do this one. And if you have matching gourds, that's wonderful. If they're mixed matched, no problem. I typically grow mine, but this was our first year here in Door County, so I did not have gourds in my garden. They are pretty easy to find, and if you can't find them, you can always use faux gourds. I'm just gonna try to break up this pattern here. And if you can't find faux ones, you can find dried out ones, a lot of times on Amazon or even eBay. The wonderful thing about this arrangement is that you can keep it fresh for quite a few days. So if you have a lot going on, you can make this in advance if you have a lot of baking to do, but this is something that you want to bring to a hostess or to a church function like I'm going to. I'm just going to store this in the garage up on a shelf in a nice cold area. If you're using herbs or parsley or kale or something like that, a couple times a day have the kids run out and spritz it down with a mister just to keep it fresh, but this is going to really do you a lot of favors for the better part of a week. So now you're just going to take your vegetable and whatever you've decided to do, and you're just going to build up. I don't think you're going to need your drill from this point on. I love using red potatoes. I like to incorporate as much color as possible, so I have some purple carrots, some yellow carrots, some radish. And you're just really going up and up and up all the way around, kind of staggering it in like a pyramid. Now at this point, this is where I take my next rectangle of florist foam and I insert it into the middle of my arrangement and use a few skewers to stabilize it so that I can attach the rest of the vegetables to this tower. So you're basically building a pyramid, but you want to make sure that inside it's stabilized and everything is attaching to the florist foam. You can just kind of give everything a little shake and a shimmy, push it in further, pull it out more wherever you need it to be. As you're working, you're going to get a feel for it. With your soft vegetables, like broccoli, make sure that the skewer doesn't poke through the top and don't impale your hand. You want to be really careful while you're doing this project because it's a lot of fun and it's easy to get excited, and I've stabbed myself in the palm more than once. I love the color of the, oh that's too small, of the radish. That's gonna work perfect right here. And if you can, I can't because of where we live, the produce is so limited, but if you can get the radish with the greens still attached to the top, because you'll get this fun little squiggle. Some of mine are just a little bit too manicured. Not my favorite, but if you can get the root coming off the end, I think that adds a lot more interest to your project. After you get to a certain point, you can just start filling in all the spots. So of course, any skewers that you see, you're going to want to cover. I'm using the radish just as a splash of color here and there, and then I'm going to go ahead and fill in with my rosemary because it's so beautiful and so festive. Almost Christmas, but still very harvest-based. See what I'm working on here? It's so pretty. Now this is where it gets a little tricky, for me at least. You're probably better with florist foam than I am. I'm going to carve a little hole in the top, and then I'm going to put this asparagus bouquet sort of at the top. Now if you wanted to use the mini skewers, you could do that in each asparagus stalk, but I always break mine. And so I'm just going to carve this little chunk out here. Again, just be really careful with those skewers because they'll impale your hand quite easily. So what I'm trying to do is make a way for this asparagus bouquet to go at the top. It's going to be awesome. Take out a little bit more. So I have this hole put up at the top. I'm going to stand on my tiptoes here, so I'm a shorty, and start to get this going. And then you can use your little ones to kind of hold everything in place. See, I just nicked my finger. Skewer from the broccoli that was pointing through. They're so sharp. All right, getting somewhere. Here we go. Okay, I gotta stick a radish over that one or I'm gonna do it again. All righty. Now, as you're finishing up your project, you're gonna see little unsightly gaps. And this is where you're just gonna use any leftover broccoli or cauliflower. Obviously, you could do anything. You could add turnips. That beautiful purple and cream color would be gorgeous on this. And you can use the little mini skewers and whatever you have left over to just fill in the gaps. That's all you're doing, is just trying to cover the skewers, cover the florist foam. So I've got my rosemary here from the greenhouse, and that's what I'm gonna really kind of like underplant this with. Now, when you go to the blog post where I did this blog post years ago, you'll see that I used burlap and I draped it out over the sides of the basket. You can do that as well. So now I'm just gonna take these herbs and just sort of tuck them in here and there. If you didn't grow herbs, you can easily go to the grocery store and get those right now in little plastic packages to do your Thanksgiving arrangement. All right, so here you have it. This is your beautiful Thanksgiving centerpiece. I hope you have fun making this. I'll put links in the description for anything that you need, but I think most of it you're going to be able to find at the thrift store and at the grocery store. And you can make this beautiful centerpiece. Check one thing off your to-do list because I know you have a really full plate with the holiday coming up. And speaking of plate, I'm gonna go on into the living room. I'm gonna gather some things around the house and I'm gonna show you how easy it is to make a beautiful Thanksgiving tablescape with stuff that you already have. I'm gonna leave this beautiful bad boy right here because I'm taking him to the church fellowship dinner on Sunday. I think it's gorgeous. I think this came out just absolutely beautiful. I hope you have a lot of fun making this. And I will put a link to the original blog post where I did this many, many years ago down below. And be sure to check out my friend Abby Jo at Forgotten Way Farms because she has some more ideas for you on your centerpiece and setting your table for Thanksgiving. I'll see you soon. A biento. Bye.